know that the webinar is available for as a video online that they can watch at any time. Even if you practice with each of your presenters, it's possible that they will talk too long during the presentation. Many of us just get going, we start ad-libbing, and we go a little bit longer than we did during a practice session. So I recommend telling your presenters in advance what you will say or do to signal that their time is up. At many of our events for the Ovarian Cancer National Alliance, we have a staff member assigned to hold up large index cards at the back of the room, and they'll say things like 2 minutes and wrap up. Now, this is really going to depend on the kind of a room that you're in and the way that your presentation is set up for STS, but something similar may be appropriate for some of you. But again, you want to let your presenters know so that they're looking for those cards in the back of the room. Another useful technique is to tell presenters in advance what words or phrases you might use if you need to interrupt them and move the presentation along. You can try something like, "Thank you so much, Susan. I hate to interrupt your story, but I want to be sure that we have time to hear about Jane's experience too. We'll have time for further discussion during the question and answer period." The reason I suggest letting your presenters know in advance is that it helps them prepare if they know what this cutoff phrase is. And they'll also understand that if you interrupt, it really means that they need to wrap up their remarks and let the presentation move on. As Susan just mentioned, once your presenters have shared their stories, the next step in the presentation is the question and answer session. You should leave about 15 to 20 minutes for questions. I'm going to run through a few tips now for making sure that this session goes smoothly. First, and again, this is repeating what Susan said earlier, if there are any key messages that didn't come up in your presenter's story, it's a good idea to raise them at the start of this session.